Quran 4 verse 158 to 159 does not prove that Hazrat Isa, peace be upon him, was raised up to the heavens. The verse goes as follows. First, let's look at the word Rafa. Whenever this word is used with humans, it always means the elevation of status. In Quran 1958, the same word is used for Hazrat Idris, peace be upon him. This means raised, as in rank not being raised physically. There are also more examples of this. To counter this non-Ahmadis, say since the body and the soul where mentioned this alludes to the fact the Hazrat Isa, peace be upon him, went up to the heavens with his physical body. However, Allah states in the Holy Quran, this verse alludes to both the body and the soul. However, only the body goes to the grave. This shows that body and soul should not always be grouped together. Hadith also proves that the ascension was spiritual and not physically. This was not meaning that he would have been raised up physically, rather it was for being raised up spiritually. We don't ask to physically rise up to the heavens, we ask for spiritual exaltation. In Aqrabul Mawarid it is written, he was elevated to the king. That is, he was brought close, or became his intimate, and in Lisan al-Arab it is stated, the name Rafi is among the names of Allah, because he elevates a believer with good fortune and his friends with nearness. The word Rafa means to bring one thing close to another. Nowhere does the Holy Quran mention the bodily ascent of Jesus to heaven. His death, on the other hand, is specifically mentioned at several different places. One of these contains Jesus' own confession of his death. As his death is established, it follows that his body must have been buried in the earth like the bodies of all dead people. The Holy Quran expressly states that it was his soul that ascended to heaven and not his body. That is why, in the verse just cited, he clearly acknowledged his death. Had he ascended to heaven alive in his physical body, he would not have said that he had departed the earth after his death. And obviously, if it was only his soul which had ascended to heaven, then how can he possibly descend in his physical body? If we were to assume that he had ascended to heaven in his physical body, we would have to acknowledge that, like all human and animal bodies, his body must also be affected by the passage of time, and that one day he must die. Thus he may have died in heaven having lived out his normal span of life, and may have been interned in a graveyard on some planet which is now supposed to be capable of supporting human life. On the other hand, if we are to assume the impossible that he is still physically alive, then, after the passage of so many centuries, he must have arrived at extreme old age, and will no longer be capable of performing any religious function or service. His descent upon earth in such a condition would serve no useful purpose and would only put him to unnecessary travail. Like and subscribe to spread the truth.